This is Share the Vision, presented by the Resource Center, a discussion of the programs and services of the Resource Center and about issues related to individuals with disabilities. Today we look back to late October and celebrate National Disability Employment Awareness Month. We're about to broadcast a ceremony that took place at the Michael J. Raymond Center on Jones and Gifford Avenue, part of the Resource Center here in the Jamestown area. With me is Steve Watterson. He is the Community Relations Director at the Resource Center. Steve, what are our listeners about to hear and enjoy?
Well, every October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month, where we take time to recognize individuals with disabilities who have found successful gainful employment in the community. And what we're doing today is having a little luncheon. We're going to be featuring 4 individuals who, with support from the Resource Center, have found employment in the community. And we've got one representative from a local business who's going to speak favorably about that business's experiences in hiring people with disabilities.
I think one of the things that our listeners will glean from the next half an hour is the importance for the community as well as for individuals with disabilities to be employed in the community.
Absolutely, and we'll touch on this a little later in the program, but the United States, it kind of lags behind the rest of the world in a lot of ways. In some countries, there's a governmental mandate that businesses will employ anywhere from 3 to 5, 7% of the workforce has to be people with developmental disabilities. And the recognition is that both that people with disabilities have a right to work in the community, but also that the business and our community in general are enhanced by having individuals with disabilities among the workforce.
Let's go now to Michael Braxton as he begins this ceremony held upstairs at 75 Jones and Gifford Avenue just about 10 days ago.
We are gathered here today in recognition of the month of NDEAM. NDEAM stands for National Disability Employment Awareness Month. Some of you know me. My name is Mike Braxton. I've worked at TRC for 2 years now, and I have the esteemed honor to MC this event and introduce some of the hardest working people that I know. Our first individual is an employer, Melissa Johnston from Trucklight, and she's going to tell us about what she does.
Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Melissa. I actually work at the Trucklight facility down in Falconer, New York. And we have had the wonderful pleasure of working with Employment Services for over 11 years. It has been a wonderful experience for us. We currently have 4 facility service techs that are working at our facility, and we're in the process of hiring another one. And these facility service techs, what they do is all different kinds of cleaning and different things like that. They do garbage and sweep mop the floors. Some of them do cardboard baling. We do floor scrubbers, just all kinds of things, and they have done a wonderful job. We have hired off and on throughout the years probably 30 different individuals. We have had the pleasure of working with Employment Services. I started out working with Steve Hauk, who has been he was an excellent resource for us. And I'm currently working with Corey Rasmussen, and they help us to fill those positions and help us with any needs that we may have. They've been wonderful. The job coaches who come down do a fantastic job. If we ever have any issues, we have the job coaches come down, we meet with the employee, and we discuss with them their issues, and that way we're all on the same page. We don't have very many, but once in a great while we do, and we've had a great experience with that as well. The job coaches, again, the employment specialists, the case managers, various supervisors, they've all been just wonderful to work with. Again, using Employment Services is a great way to support your community and give back to them, and we really, really appreciate doing that, and we're very proud of the fact that we can support our community in this way. It's been a wonderful experience for us. Personally, I also have a daughter who is learning disabled, and so I have been on the other side of that as well. So not only on the employment side, but I've also experienced it firsthand through the family side of things, and they have been wonderful to work with there as well. She is currently employed and doing a great job. I would recommend this agency to any employer who is not currently using them. As I said, it gives back to the community, and it's just a really great service that we can offer everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Melissa. And again, I want to stress this is for community-based employment, and we hope and expect a lot of people to go into the community in the future. Our first person to speak will be Sarah Binkowitz. She works at Denny's in the Dunkirk-Fredonia area. Sarah, would you be able to speak about what you do?
The Resource Center's Faith Baker, whom you'll meet a little later in this program, is going to assist here.
We've worked out a little arrangement where I'm going to kind of do an interview with Sarah, okay? Sarah, can you tell us where you work?
I work at Denny's in Dunkirk-Fredonia.
Faith asked how long she had worked there.
5 years.
Faith asked, what do you do at Denny's?
I clean off the tables and the dishes and put them in the bus pan and wash the table off and set the table.
Okay. And what is your favorite part of your job?
Get tips sometimes and get a good paycheck.
The money is always a good thing.
Yep.
Can you tell us how supported employment has helped you? The coaches maybe that come in, how do they help you?
They help me by getting extra hours on Tuesdays. I work on kids' night, and they do different classes each week.
Sarah Binkowitz there saying supported employment at the Resource Center helped her get more hours when she wanted them. Faith Baker asked a final question, if there was anything else that she wanted to say about her job at Denny's.
I love it a lot.
Thank you so much, Sarah. That was fantastic. Our next individual will be Kyle Keller. He currently works at the Home Depot. Kyle, would you?
Hello, everybody. I work for the Home Depot now, so yeah, my first job it was cleaning and doing a lot of stuff at cleaning. The coaches really helped me a lot for cleaning. Then I go to Home Depot, I got a job there for doing a lot and everything. I help people a lot down there, so I get done quickly. How long have you been there? I've been there till I started in October, so almost a year, yes. What do you like about it? I like my job. It's pretty awesome, so yeah. Yes, so thank you for coming. Thank you.
Our next individual will be Sarah Curran. She works up on the 4th floor at Allied Industries with a lot of you strive to be there, and we do have an excellent training program in the sewing to hopefully get everyone a job up there. Sarah?
Hi, everybody. The sewing class is always fun, and it's fun. Kim's always nice. I asked Lisa how to get into the sewing class. I just talked to Lisa. I was interested about it, and she put me in there what hours I could work and work out. You work back to the workshop, so you go back and forth between the hours where you work. And as soon as I got on the 4th floor, I really did like it up there because I like to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's really fun to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I get paid for it. I get really good checks, better at both places. I get better checks up here. I get better checks on the 4th floor. So that's always good. And, they do a little bit of training and teaching both, but you do all the work yourself, but you have to walk around and ask for people for help or what you could do next.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Our last individual was uncomfortable coming to speak in front of such a large crowd. His name is Keith Gowan. He works out at the I-86 rest stop for environmental services. He did say that he was extremely happy with his job. He likes the hard work. The paychecks are always very good. And he's just happy. Community employment is fantastic, and I hope all of us strive to get there one day. Thank you so much.
Michael Braxton, Enterprise Development Support Staff at the Resource Center, emceeing that program. Right after I had an opportunity to interview Michael for a few minutes. Tell me about the program that you just emceed that we witnessed here on the radio. Give us a little bit of background and development in terms of how you chose the people who were awarded here today, those who spoke.
Okay. The event today was in recognition of NDEAM, which is the National Disability Employment Awareness Month. We recognized one local employer, Trucklight, and they had Melissa Johnston come and speak with us about the great program of supportive employment and how it's helped their company employ individuals with disabilities. We've also had 4 individuals from the community that have had successful jobs. The first being Sarah Curran. She works up for Allied Industries in our industrial sewing and manufacturing plant. The next is Kyle Keller. He works at the local Home Depot in Lakewood. He helps individuals get carts and load goods. The next one would be Sarah Binkowitz. She works at Denny's in the Dunkirk-Fredonia area, and she busses tables and helps set tables. The last one was Keith Gowan, NYSID's Outstanding Performer of 2013 for our area. He works at the I-86 rest stop, performing janitorial duties, snow removal, and landscape work.
The people that you had speak there were chosen because of the different fields they represent?
The people that we chose were because they are extremely successful in the community, and we want to exemplify community employment for individuals that work in sheltered workshops or our pre-vocational program, to give them an example of what working in the community might be like and will be like for them, because our goal is to set everyone up with the choice of where they work and to be successful with their work.
So let's make this abundantly clear to the listeners of this program today. Persons with disabilities can work. They might be working here at Allied Industries, something closely associated with the Resource Center. They might be in a pre-vocational program, which, as I understand it, is preparing them with or for the work environment with the appropriate skill.
Our pre-vocational program is designed for non-specific job skills. It helps them with interview skills, how to mitigate stressful situations at work, how to keep their production up, stay on task. At this point in time, we're looking for employers that are willing to take on enclaves of pre-vocational individuals out in the community so we can show them what an integrated setting is like in a real place of business. Right now, we've been working with Clark Boxit, and it's been very successful with our individuals.
So are you saying that you are looking for employers to hire them or just give them an opportunity to see what the workplace is like? Explain that a little further for me.
The short answer is yes.
To both.
To both. If you are an employer listening and you would like to contact us about hiring an individual with a disability, because they are as successful and as hardworking as anyone I've ever seen, and I am an employer of individuals with disabilities, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Contact Michael Volk or Michael Braxton at 661-1400, or if you're an employer interested in having groups of individuals come in and try out different job tasks with a vocational instructor or a job coach, call the same number, which is 661-1400, and ask for Michael Volk or Michael Braxton, and we can foster that relationship.
Your ultimate goal, though, is to give persons with disabilities employment, whether it be under the umbrella of the Resource Center or perhaps, it sounds like, even more ideally out in the community someplace.
Yes, our ultimate goal is to find employment for all individuals with disabilities if it's their choice.
The opportunity to recognize people during this NDEAM month is important to those who are recognized and to you both.
Yes, it is an extremely important
aspect of what we do is to recognize success and to promote success and the idea of choice. Because in our supportive employment program, which people come in out of the community and want to work but have difficulty finding work and have a disability, we promote the idea of what they want to do, not what's available to them. If we have an individual who wants to be an astronaut, we ask the questions of, why do you want to be an astronaut? And there is a specific example of an individual who wanted to be, I believe it was a police officer, but didn't have the necessary capacity to be a full-fledged police officer. But through job-seeking skills that we do and assessment, found out that he really liked uniforms. So we found a job in the community where he got to wear a uniform, and he was extremely successful in that job. We find jobs for the individual, not the individual jobs.
Is there anything else you want to add about the program that you work on day to day, Michael, in terms of the other aspects of your work, since we have this opportunity?
My title as Enterprise Development Support Staff is I create affirmative businesses in the community that are self-sustaining. Right now we have a very successful landscaping company, TRC Landscaping, which goes out and services community houses. If you need your house mulched, raked, planted, landscaped, we are full-fledged, and we are a self-sustaining business that solely employs individuals with disabilities. We also have a car detail shop that is 100% disabled labor. And just because someone has a disability doesn't mean they can't do the work. Everyone can do anything they put their mind to.
Michael, thank you for an excellent job of emceeing today's program and the extra time after. I'm keeping you from lunch here, so I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Today on Share the Vision, we're celebrating National Disability Employment Awareness Month, a ceremony that actually took place October 30th at the Resource Center's Michael J. Raymond Center in Jamestown. Corey Rasmussen joins me now. Corey, what is your title here at the Resource Center?
Employment Specialist, Job Developer.
Corey, watching this award ceremony today, your thoughts about the program that you work with and what we saw here first.
Well, I've worked in this department for almost 23 years now, so a lot of the people that we're talking today, I've helped get positions for with the other job developers, and I'm very proud that they have made it as long as they have, and the community has accepted them as anybody else.
One might look at this at first blush and think kind of a delicate situation to find appropriate employment for a person who may have a disability, and yet you sound very confident, enthusiastic. The whole mood, the whole theme of the day here has been very upbeat.
Right. We figure out exactly what the person wants, what their capabilities are, and then we match the job to them to make sure that they are successful. And then the job coaches go in and train them and make them hopefully successful.
One of the things that Mike Braxton said to us is that you are always looking for new employers in the community to show people jobs, perhaps hire them for jobs. What has been your experience over the years, Corey, with those employers who have taken the leap, who have done that? Are they satisfied with their employees? Do their employees stay? Is it a stable and valuable situation for them?
Yes, we most of the employers that we work with have been very receptive to this, been very satisfied with the coaching they get to make sure the person's doing what they're supposed to and show up. And the person goes in with a smile, leaves with a smile, does a hard day's work. We have some people that have worked up to, a couple years to 20 years in the same position.
And the job satisfaction of those who get hired and stay at these jobs for 2 to 20 years?
Oh, they're just, they want to be out in the community. They want to be like everybody else. They want to, live like everybody else. They want to own a house someday, a car, everything that everybody wants. And they're very satisfied. They feel very fulfilled by doing a job within the community.
Corey, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Before Share the Vision closes today, I want you to meet a few other people who help persons with disabilities find meaningful employment. Steve Hauk is my next guest. Steve Hauk, and your title, let me get it right.
Production Coordinator.
Here at Allied Industries.
Yes, I'm Production Coordinator covering the commercial subcontracting.
As Mike Braxton explained to us earlier, this is one way that persons with disabilities can find work in the community, working right here under the umbrella of the Resource Center.
That's correct. We offer training in the various different things that we do here in the workshop. that helps the individuals to be better prepared for work in the community.
So what's it like for you to watch a celebration today of the success of some of those individuals who have been a part of your program?
Oh, it's very exciting to be able to see how individuals have been able to go out into the community to expand their horizons and to be successful. It's very satisfying. We really enjoy working with the consumers here at the Work Center, but to see them be able to branch out and get out into an integrated setting is very good.
Let's talk about that, because we haven't really pinpointed that in this program so far today. Michael Braxton made reference to the fact, Steve, that the ideal goal is to at least give individuals with disabilities a choice as to where they work. But he does make it sound as though the ideal situation is out in the community in that integrated setting. What is it about that makes it so ideal?
Well, they get to interact with people with non-disabled individuals, so it really kind of gives them a well-rounded atmosphere to work in. Here at the Work Center, most everyone, we call it a segregated atmosphere because most everyone does have a disability. So in the community, when they get to work around folks that don't have a disability, it really helps them to broaden out.
And just to have a job, the meaningfulness of having employment, something to commit themselves to every day, is as real as it would be for an individual who does not have a disability?
Yeah, that's correct, yes.
Steve, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Dennis.
And now meet Faith Baker, Employment Services Administrator at the Resource Center. She helped Sarah Binkowitz with a little interview a little earlier in this program. Along with Mike Braxton, you work for Mike Volk in this division of the Resource Center. Before we get into today's ceremony a little bit, just a background on your day-to-day work and how your work fits into their work, if you know what I mean.
I oversee our supported employment, job placement, enhanced supported employment programs here at the Resource Center. So we are helping people with disabilities work out in the community successfully. So we have case managers, job developers, and job coaches who actually go on site to assist people to be successful in their jobs.
I've learned today, just from listening to the presentation that Mike Braxton made and the interviews that we've done subsequently, that is sort of the ideal situation that you seek for a person who may have a disability, and that is to find employment in an environment, and Steve Hauk used the word integrated in the community. That's really where you want everybody to be if they can be.
Absolutely, and more our funding sources are encouraging that. And actually, to be quite honest, today in our presentation, we were hoping to inspire people who haven't yet taken that step to do so.
What is the value of taking that step for the consumer, for the individual with a disability? Let's start there.
Well, the people who work at our work centers, it's a very good option for many of them. Maybe they need that extra support. But there's a number of people who are in the work center who could obtain a job in the community and make more money and benefits and really get out into the world and make friends at work who are not disabled. I think that's one of the big benefits is not only increased wages, but being truly integrated into the community, making friends in the world of work.
Does that happen enough? Are there enough opportunities if the individuals, as you say, you're working to persuade people today to take that step? If they're willing to, are there opportunities out there for them?
I believe so. That's what my staff is really good at doing, is finding those opportunities and always looking for new employers to work with us.
How did the employers find you if they're interested? If this sounds like something they might be interested in doing or curious about?
Certainly, they can call me. My phone number is 661-1050, and I'd love to talk to them about it.
As a final point, just your sense of watching this entire ceremony today and listening to what the employees in particular had to say, your emotional reaction to all of this.
I think it's really great. We had some people who were very excited about their jobs and willing to share, and that's really what we want to do. For me personally, I think working is a very, very essential part of adult life. And if we can help people with disabilities have that same experience, I think it's fantastic, and I love that.
Thank you for your time and your summary of all of what has happened here today.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.
And now back to Steve Watterson, Community Relations Director at the Resource Center. Steve, that was an interesting ceremony, and the presentation that followed the interviews, I think, supported what you said at the beginning about the importance, the need to grow opportunities for persons with disabilities to work in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. It was nice to people on the radio obviously can't see, but we had a room full of people. A lot of folks there to come in and kind of be part of this celebration and take advantage of the luncheon that we had afterwards. But we, the Resource Center provides employment opportunities at our own work centers in Jamestown and Dunkirk and Buffalo to anywhere from 300 to 400 people a year. So it was great to have the turnout and great to have a chance to recognize and celebrate people with disabilities who are working in the community.
Are there other things related to National Disability Employment Awareness Month or otherwise at the Resource Center that we should do in the last minute or so of our show today?
Yes. Coincidentally, just this past Thursday, the Resource Center took part in a summit that was held up in Buffalo on employment of persons with developmental disabilities. What's going on is that the state of New York, in an effort to get itself aligned with what the federal government wants to do, has to submit by January 1st a plan to get more people with developmental disabilities out working in the community. They need to submit this plan to the Federal Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. The draft plan that the state has put together has called for the elimination of pre-vocational services to be provided to people with disabilities in a segregated setting. And by the state's definition, our employment and work centers in Jamestown and Dunkirk are viewed as segregated settings, so that as of January 1st, new people coming into the system will not be able to receive pre-vocational services in a work center environment and would have to receive them out in the community. We are all in favor, certainly, of creating more community-based employment opportunities for people with disabilities, but we wanted to have this summit to kind of gauge some ideas from lots of different people involved in this initiative. People with disabilities, their family members, services providers, businesses, to provide to the state some suggestions on how to deal with really 4 main points before they go forward with their plan. One is personal choice. What does each person with a disability want to do? Where does he or she want to work? Another thing to consider is individual capabilities. Realistically, what can each person do? Does each person possess the skills required to successfully perform the job that interests them? Community capacity. Are local businesses in a position to provide jobs to everyone with a disability? And can businesses absorb the hundreds of people with disabilities or thousands across the state who want to come out and work? And what additional supports do employers need in order to hire more people with disabilities? And finally, transportation. Transportation is a huge issue. If we lived in a big city like Buffalo or New York, transportation's not a problem because there's lots of public transportation options. Here in Chautauqua County, that's different, especially in evenings and weekends, and it creates a huge barrier to employment for people who don't have means of getting around. And a lot of folks with disabilities don't drive cars. They have to rely on transportation from a family member, friend, or a coworker to get to and from a work site. So had this meeting yesterday. We're going to compile all that information. We're going to submit it to the state. And folks who are interested in learning more about this, we have a website. It's called employmentoptionsofwny.com. And probably within the next week or so, we'll have the results of that summit, and we'll post it on the website, and people can go there and learn more about it.
Well, Steve, it's been a real opportunity for us to present all of these issues today, particularly in the light of the celebration and the challenges that you now face. And we look forward to perhaps doing other programs subsequently on this issue here on Share the Vision. But to you today and the others who've been involved in our special presentation, thank you for sharing the vision today.